My dear, listen very carefully. What I'm about to say will burn your past and free your future. I prayed for peace, but all I got was you. You weren't just a lesson. You were the storm that rewrote my soul. Your silence wasn't quiet. It screamed louder than your love ever did. You touched me so deeply, I mistook pain for permanence. If you were a warning, I still would have stayed. I loved you like I knew you'd destroy me. You didn't just leave, you buried me alive in memories. You were supposed to save me, not shatter me. I kept forgiving you until I disappeared. Love didn't blind me, you did. You said forever, then taught me how short forever really is. You didn't walk away, you turned your back on a soul that worshipped you. You weren't a lover, you were a lesson dressed as desire. Your love felt like war disguised as warmth. I gave you my wounds, and you poured salt. I didn't lose you, I lost myself trying to keep you. I hope she loves the ghost of me you still carry. Your love was never soft. It bit, it bruised, it begged. I begged the angels to take me, but they whispered, heal instead. Some lovers come to teach silence, not songs. If loving you was a prayer, then heartbreak was my church. You never kissed me, you consumed me. I wanted you, God gave me truth instead. Your name still echoes in places you left burning. You didn't fall out of love, you fell out of lies. I saw heaven in your eyes and hell in your actions. You were never mine, only borrowed by fate. If I was hard to love, why did you stay long enough to destroy me? You loved me like a secret and left me like a shame. Your goodbye didn't break me, it exposed me. You didn't move on. You escaped the mirror I held to your soul. I wasn't your forever, just your hiding place. You weren't confused, you were cowardly. I looked at you and saw a future. You looked at me and saw a phase. You loved my light, but feared my pain. I was too soft for someone born to betray. You touched me with hands that trembled with guilt. You apologized with words, but continued with wounds. I wasn't hard to love. You just lacked depth. I romanticized your red flags, and now I bleed truth. You didn't break my heart. You cracked open my awakening. You left me craving silence because your voice lied beautifully. I don't miss you. I miss who I thought you were. Loving you felt holy until it felt haunted. I watched you become a stranger with my secrets. I healed in silence while you repeated your patterns loudly. You kissed me like you needed me, then left like I was nothing. I didn't love you blindly. I loved you despite clarity. You used my softness as a stepping stone. You promised safety, but brought storms. I tried to be your peace. You turned me into your war. You wanted the light, but feared the depth. I offered my heart. You offered a mask. You weren't mine. You were a mirror of everything I had to unlearn. I whispered love. You shouted distance. You let go too easily for someone who claimed to care. You weren't home. You were a house set to collapse. I held on because I believed the lie you told with your eyes. You ran from love and blamed me for chasing. You taught me that not everyone who touches you loves you. I held your pain like prayer. You held my love like burden. You chose comfort over commitment, fear over feeling. I gave you the stars. You traded them for sparks. I made space for your chaos. You left when I asked for calm. You were never meant to stay, just to show me where I break. I wanted truth. You gave me theater. You didn't love me. You loved how I loved you. You borrowed my soul and returned it bruised. I carried your shadows even after you fled the light. I cried for you in prayers you never heard. You mistook my boundaries for betrayal. I tried to rebuild us while you burned the blueprint. You didn't drift. You disappeared. I fought for us. You fought for your freedom. You painted a future in words, but walked away in silence. I gave you my storms. You gave me distance. You weren't complicated. You were careless. I believed in your potential, not your reality. If this touched your soul, don't scroll. Like, comment your favorite quote, and subscribe for more. I whispered forgiveness to someone who didn't whisper regret. You didn't just leave, you rewrote my worth. I craved love. You offered confusion. You blamed timing. I blamed truth. I saw forever. You saw convenience. You fed my hope and starved my trust. You disguised manipulation as love. I loved a ghost wearing your name. You didn't change, you just got better at pretending. I was your light. You preferred the dark. You didn't destroy me, you introduced me to my strength. I wanted answers. You gave riddles. You weren't a soulmate. You were a soul test. You treated my loyalty like a leash. I chose depth. You chose distractions. You offered the idea of love, never the reality. I don't hate you. I just healed past you.